going on, y'all? It's your boy Ned Mack with DFS Stats and Facts, and I am here for Week 11 prime time showdown matchup against the Browns and the Steelers, AFC North. I'm pretty excited. It's a very good game. Let's get right into it. But first, I really need y'all to subscribe to DFS Stats and Facts on YouTube if you haven't already. Hop on that Instagram, Facebook, we on there too. Instagram is DFS_Stats and Facts, and Facebook is the same thing, I believe, DFS Stats and Facts. We're gonna change that up and fix that up as well, and we're gonna hop on Twitter soon, maybe, don't know. Pops, if you're watching this, I got you on the lighting thing. This is a very quick video. Had to pop this up real quick. I know we were supposed to get up, and I got you. We're gonna talk about that later. But anyway, we're going to get right into this tonight. It's a very good game. We got James Conner coming back off of injury, fresh legs. Already, I'm going to hop right into that because he is at 10-8 as a flex, 16-2 as a captain. Last game that he played was about 2 weeks ago, or 3 weeks now, but week 8, he had 23 attempts, 145 yards and a touchdown, gave you 27 fantasy points. Look, just because James Conner is back, though, don't go sleeping on my boy Samuels. I think he's also going to be getting used. Tomlin already said it that the Browns are going to be doing a dual running back with Kareem Hunt now and what's my boy's name? Nick Chubb, the stud. So I think Tomlin is one of those, you know what type of coach he is. He going to go toe-to-toe with you. So I think he going to hit it up with Conner and Samuels. And you never know. If Conner, God forbid, gets injured in the game, guess who they're going to go to? But anyway, jumping into that, my elite sleep for tonight would have to be Kareem Hunt because people are still sleeping on him. Don't know why. He's a great runner. And honestly, back in the day, especially, Kareem Hunt was a better running back than Nick Chubb before Nick Chubb was even here. Kareem Hunt, also, I love his price. He's at 5'8 as a flex, 8'7 as a captain. It's beautiful. Just last week when he came back against Buffalo, he had 4 carries, 30 yards. And then he had 7 passes, 7 catches, 44 yards. It gave you 14.4 fantasy. Look, star in charge tonight, though, on the low, real quick, I will have to go with Jarvis Landry just because he's finally starting to get targets. I'll talk about other wide receivers and tight ends that are getting more targets on both of these teams. But Jarvis Landry, man, just last week, 9 receptions, 97 yards, and a touchdown, gave you 24.7 fantasy. 8,000 a night, 12,000 as captain. Wouldn't go that far as a captain, but I don't know, man. Captain-wise, it can really go either way because the bums to stay away from tonight, unfortunately, still are the quarterbacks. You got one who's a backup and one who's playing like a damn backup. Baker Mayfield is still leading the league in commercials, but that's about it. I'm going to bring up his stats, though, because it's really interesting. 9,000 a night, 13.5 as a captain. Week 8 was his biggest week, and I'll tell you why. He only had 1 touchdown that he threw, but he also had a rushing touchdown. That very next week, he was injured, right? But look, in that game, he also had 3 interceptions. That's crazy, unacceptable. And his highest really was that game, 22.5. But he gave you 17.6 just last week. Better game, 238, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Look, man, Baker Mayfield has to get it together. You can't have, I feel like I say this almost every week. You cannot have the wide receivers that he had, even the tight end that he had in Njoku. Ricky Seals-Jones, if he plays tonight, he's questionable. But you can't have all these targets, like all these great players, and you not doing nothing with them. Like, bro, get out of your head. I don't know what's going on, but you got to do better. And it's week 11 now, right, starting with this game. So, I don't know, man. You're running out of time. But there's someone else I also want to talk about. James Washington had a great week last week with the Steelers. Look, 5'6 as a flex tonight, 8'4 as a captain. Obviously, I'm talking about Draftkings. He had 6 receptions, 90 yards, 1 touchdown just last week. That gave you 20 fantasy on Draftkings. It's very nice. So don't sleep on James Washington. Don't sleep on Samuels just because Conner's back. And then I want to also talk about the targets that have increased over the weeks, and that is Vance McDonald, O.J. Beckham, and I already talked about it, but Jarvis Landry. Juju, honestly, is a potential bum to stay away from, which is terrible, but it's truthful. Stats don't lie. Look, his stats have been decreasing and have been low all year. He's had 2 big games thus far, and one was against Miami. So it was Miami. So I don't even know if that really counts. But yeah, badass kickers tonight. You got two of them. And Chris Boswell, the veteran, he's at 4,000 and 6,000 as a captain. And the thing I like about the kickers is that you could sneak them in as a captain in one lineup. I wouldn't do it in like all the lineups. Don't be crazy. But you can make a lineup with the field goal kickers in there. Field goal kickers will back you up, especially if this game is somehow close. But it has the potential to either be a crazy scoring game. With the addition of Kareem Hunt, I think the Browns are really going to open up a little bit more. Or it can be a tough game where the field goal kickers look like the MVPs. So don't forget about Chris Boswell. Very badass kicker. He's 18 for 19 this year. And then you got Austin. I call him Sherbert, but I think it's Seibert or Seibert, whatever. He's 3'8" as a flex and 5'7" as a captain. He is actually perfect on the year with field goals made out of 16 for 16. So that's pretty much it. I'm trying to see if there's anything else to really talk about. But those are the players that I really have my eyes on tonight. Choose wisely, I would say, with Vance McDonald, OJ, and Jarvis. I mean, look, it's just been a tough year for the Browns, period. And honestly, not for nothing, I think the NFL really thought the Browns were going to be something this year because this is their third primetime game. So you also want to keep that in mind. It is at home, but honestly, that's not saying nothing. These boys will lose anywhere. So my obvious pick tonight, will have to be Pittsburgh over the Browns. If the Browns pull it off, they pull it off. They had a big win last week against Buffalo, and I know that probably really annoyed Buffalo fans, but it happened. But yeah, I don't know about this week, man. I think the Steelers have been actually headed in the right direction now, even though some production has dropped in players. They are still like finding ways to win. So I think they find another way tonight. Over in Cleveland, I just don't see it happening with the Browns. But you know how I feel about prime time. It does tend to reverse. But man, enjoy the night. Get your money. Stop playing around on here, man. It's DFS Stats and Facts. Your boy Ned Mac. I appreciate all the fans. I love you, and we're going to keep them going.